I want to bring you guys an update on my video I made months earlier on Trump going to war and canceling out the dominance of FICO and the credit bureaus. Now to bring you up to speed, many in the Trump administration has been warring with the credit bureaus. One of them is Bill Pulte.
Credit score bureau FICO in the hot seat lately after Bill Pulte, the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, took aim at the company in a barrage of posts on social media, saying in one, quote, FICO and other monopoly who has ripped off Americans for decades should not be using improper efforts to threaten regulators. The company's stock is down more than 20% so far this year.
Now, he's claiming since the Trump administration have removed the dominance of FICO by allowing Vantage scores to be used for the decision on getting homes through FHA and government programs, that the credit bureaus and FICO has been secretly lobbying against them to lash out at the Trump administration. Now, he's not the only one in the Trump administration and the Republican side going after the credit bureaus. Also, Josh Hawley.
Senator Josh Hawley wanted more accountability in the financial services industry. Now, in his second Senate term, he's again taking aim at the Fair Isaac Corporation, or FICO.
These are the credit score people.
Hawley told the DOJ FICO enjoys a sweetheart deal from the federal government wherein its credit scores are required for loans originated with multiple government entities. Hawley says FICO has abused its government-granted market power.
Now, he's claiming that FICO has used a sweetheart deal with the credit bureaus by using the government's backing to be able to dominate the market and create a monopoly. So he's also saying they're charging the government and everybody else whatever they want for their credit scores, passing the cost on to consumers and charging businesses. But now enter the chat Elizabeth Warren, as she for years been an advocate against the credit bureaus. She wants the Trump administration and the Republicans to put the money where their mouth is. She want to bring in more control against the credit bureau and FICO, but she feels a certain kind of way with Donald Trump backing off the control of her brainchild, which is the CFPB, who is actually a government agency that she helped create, and they oversee the credit bureau and rolling back the work she put in on getting medical debts removed from consumer credit reports. Now, give me your opinion. Do you believe that FICO and the credit bureaus, as they've been saying, they're being unjustly victimized, or do you think this scrutiny is actually deserved? Drop it in the comment section. In this video, I'm going to break down Elizabeth Warren pushing a new bill to put more control in canceling out the dominance of FICO scores and the credit bureaus. Now, if you're new to this channel is designed to help you no matter where you are in your credit journey. So subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of information, and go to my website where you can download this free heart inquiry removal package. I'll leave that link in the description of the video and in the pinned comment section. Now, Elizabeth Warren has been warring against the credit bureaus for decades now, and she been calling for control against the credit bureaus and FICO.
There was a lot of agreement between Democrats and Republicans that consumers should be able to control their own data. And without consumer control, credit reporting companies really have no reason to treat us well. We are not their customers, we are just their products. And it shows. A 2012 study by the Federal Trade Commission found that 1 out of every 5 people had an error in their credit reports. Meanwhile, over last year, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has fielded hundreds of thousands of consumer complaints. And the big 3 credit reporting agencies are now the 3 most complained about companies in the entire financial services industry. You know, if you ran a restaurant and got your customers' orders wrong 20% of the time and had the worst customer service in town, you would be out of business in a week. But credit reporting companies, not them. They're getting bigger, they're getting richer, and they're getting more powerful. This market is clearly broken. And fixing it starts with giving customers more control over their own data.
Now, she's been long standing in her stance for years that the credit bureaus need to be canceled. And with Elizabeth Warren, she's reintroducing a bill that she's been trying to pass for decades. And this, she wants to see if the Republicans are going to support this bill, since they're claiming that they're going against the credit bureau. She wants to see them actually take action and align with her on this bill. And it comes down to controlling the credit bureaus when it comes down to the hiring process. She wants to eliminate using credit reports for jobs. Now, here's a story on why this is very important.
Onika O'Keefe recently applied for a cashier's job at a large department store. She had the experience. The interview went well. Because she'd be handling a lot of money, the store told her they'd have to do a check on her credit.
I was certain that I had the position, but my credit score hindered me from getting that position. But they didn't tell me outright that that was the case.
O'Keefe says she had had crippling student loans, had to open credit card accounts to help pay the bills for her family, and her credit rating suffered. Senator Elizabeth Warren wants to make sure people like Onika O'Keefe don't get denied jobs because of credit scores.
As you can see, this young lady got denied for a job all because of her credit. Now, let me know if you think that is fair. Now, with this, it is hard enough if you don't have a job. How are you supposed to pay your bills? And how are you supposed to gain employment because you haven't been able to pay your bills, and now you're being judged for your credit? This, to me, seems highly unfair. And Elizabeth Warren feels the same way.
Why do people have damaged credit? Well, the principal reasons are somebody got sick in the family and they fell behind on medical bills. You lost a job and fell behind on your bills, or you had a family breakup, either a divorce or a death in the family, and somebody is struggling to get back on their feet.
A recent study by a liberal think tank found 1 in 10 unemployed Americans has been denied a job due to information on their credit reports. Errors on those reports are common. Warren says the process is unfair, especially to lower income applicants.
There have been studies that show no correlation between your credit check, no or little correlation between your credit check and your ability to do the job.
Now, employers say that it is necessary to be able to do these credit checks on new employees. They feel that it's part of a necessary process, and this is their feeling on the situation.
But one group that opposes Senator Warren's bill, a group representing small businesses, says credit checks are important screening tools for potential employers in a way that has little to do with applicants' finances.
A credit check is a good way to find out if someone has, in fact, been employed in a previous position that they've claimed on their application. It's a very easy check to say, okay, maybe you didn't have that job, and maybe that says something about your trustworthiness.
Now, there would be some exceptions that Elizabeth Warren is proposing for those credit checks in certain situations, and here is what she feels.
Senator Warren says there's one exception in her bill. People applying for national security-related jobs, positions requiring security clearances, would still have to go through credit checks. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
She's been pushing for this bill for decades, and now she have recently in September pushed this bill again to see if she can get support. So hopefully this will be able to be enforced. And I agree with her. I don't believe that jobs should take your credit report information only in certain cases, like they said, for government clearance and maybe certain financial jobs. But I believe this bill should give support if people like me and you actually lobby for it and let our voices be known that this needs to stop, because how can people get a fresh start on life? And with all of these layoffs, how are people going to be able to get a job if they currently can't pay their bills? And with so many people being laid off in the government sector, I believe this is something that truly needs to pass. So give me your opinion in the comment section. Now, hopefully this information was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section. More detailed questions for me, you can go to my website and all your questions go directly to my cell phone. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.